our broadcast at 5 o'clock so that I can get people in and get people ready to be able to meet my special guest today and tell you a little bit about Pageantry Now, and then introduce Jenna as she gets here. So Pageantry Now is all about positive pageantry and making a difference in the world, and being able to use pageants to be able to change not only your life but other people's lives as well. Hey Maddie, how are you? Thanks for being here. Hey Oscar, how are you? So good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. For those of you that don't know, I am a cancer survivor, and when I started competing in pageants 13 years ago, I became involved with different cancer charities to be able to raise awareness and be able to make a difference in the world so that we could find a cure for cancer, hopefully, but also to help families that were in need or children that were in need going through treatments. And I came across the 4-A-Day Foundation. Back then it was called Queen for a Day. And we're going to meet the founder today. She's going to come on and she's going to talk about her experiences, not only as a title holder, but how her platform actually became her career, and in so many ways changed her life, and how to be able to focus on social media and being able to make a difference with what you're doing in your life. I'm doing good, Maddie. It's good to have you. Make sure, guys, if you can do me a favor, make sure you share and that you invite your fans today. Jenna will be coming on in about 8 minutes, but she, like I said, she was Miss Florida USA 2007, and she was Miss Florida America 2004, and she was Miss Teen America, I think, 1999. So she's good, but I'll let her tell you about her story and what she does and why she got involved and what she does with her charity, and how other people can get involved and how other title holders can get involved. Or perhaps maybe you don't want to get involved, but you want to be able to get an idea about how to start your own charity. So I'm hoping that she popped in. I see her. She's logged in. Yay! So I'm going to wait for a couple more people to log on. Again, if you guys can do me a favor, share this with your fans. Make sure that people log in so that they can be part of this. Capture moments, as many moments as you possibly can, so that they can be watched over and over again. So Maddie, I know you're good at that. So just make sure that hey Nazi, how are you? Thank you for being here. Jenna, thanks for being here. Can you hear me okay? So just make sure you invite as many fans as you can, and then Maddie, just message, if people are, hey Gerarda, how are you? Thank you for being here. We are also live streaming on YouTube, so let me just make sure the stream is going well. I didn't realize it till yesterday, but now people can actually chat with you while you're live streaming. So, and then of course, if you guys have, hey Pop-Tart, how are you? This is going to be a fantastic show. You guys are going to be so excited. I'm so thrilled to be able to have my guest today. She's an amazing woman. Oh, McDonald's. Ooh. Nice Pop-Tart. Invite your fans. Do me a favor. Invite your fans. Get people here so that we can make her feel welcome. Again, this is a very special guest. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. Be here, be positive, be part of the fun. That's what we're always about, so we appreciate it. Thanks for being here, Pop-Tart. I love you. You rock. Jenna, are you ready? Jenna's ready! Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to guest her, and then I'm going to let her introduce herself. And she's got special gifts for you guys, too, so. It's connecting. Hopefully it connects well. Hey girl, how are you?
Hey, I'm
sideways.
Good.
Oh no! Can you turn the view?
Yeah. You might want to take me off screen. My Wi-Fi in the house is all of a sudden not working, so I'm on my pad. So I had to do a quick thing. So it's all clipped together.
The sound is really
Can I just do it on the screen? Oh, I can just do it on the screen.
The sound is really laggy. Can you hear me? I love it when the technology doesn't work. Thank you, Nancy.
Okay.
Yay! Just have Francois hold it for you. Hey, Brookie, how are you? Can you hear me? I love that look. Someone capture that.
I'm not really getting any volume.
You can't connect to the internet at all? Oh, Brookie, you can hear both of us. Okay. So, Brookie, translate.
Okay.
Just type in chat for us, Brooke. Tell us what each one of us is saying.
Am I supposed to introduce myself?
Yes, please introduce yourself.
Are you ready for that? Okay, so I'm Jenna Edwards. I'm originally from Mississippi. I went to college, so I ended up competing in the major Florida systems. And now I live in New York City. So my main story is that I competed in pageants as a kid and kept competing all the way through my teens and up and through my 20s. And along that way, I started the 4-Day Foundation. We started a day. It was really just an opportunity to help a little girl that I ran into. I had no intent of turning into what it now is, which is a national organization 16 years later with about a dozen chapters around the country. I had no idea we would be where we are. So I run the charity for 16 years. I competed in Miss Teen All-American back when that pageant was around, and learned a lot from that. That's when I started Queen for a Day. And then I eventually went on to win Miss Florida America and Miss Florida USA. And now in New York City, I am a commercial model. I'm a trained health coach, and I have a YouTube channel. And I foster rescued Cocker Spaniels.
And she hasn't aged a day since the day that I first met her, 11 years ago? Oh my gosh.
Do you remember how you ever found out about Queen for a Day and how you got involved?
Actually, the way that I got involved with Queen for a Day, I had just won the title of Miss Texas Plus America, and I started looking for, I did a web search looking for queens in cancer, I think is what I did as a web search. And Queen for a Day came up with that web search, and I immediately started crying. Like, I saw the website, I saw what you were doing, and I lost it. Because my platform is raising awareness, it was raising awareness for cancers and trying to help children with blood cancers. So it was something that was just immediately resonated with me, and as a cancer survivor, I really felt like this was what I was supposed to do. And so I contacted you, and you said, nope, sorry, we have a director already in Dallas, but let me connect you. And so I went to a party and helped with the party, and then, 3 months later, you called me and you said, are you still interested in being the director? And things kind of went crazy from there. We went from, I gotta say, I miss being in Dallas, because Dallas, I was very connected, and we had a great time doing Queen for a Day, and, at some points I was doing, 3 parties a month, and I miss that. So I miss that. I haven't been able to quite get my feet underneath me here in Florida. So I feel so bad. So Brooke asks, what's your main tip for finding your pageant platform?
Things are different now than they were when I was looking for a platform. I already had the foundation, and so it was a no-brainer. Actually, I will say, the first MAO local that I competed in Mississippi, a judge told me that I would never make it with Queen for a Day as my platform, and he just really poo-pooed on it. And so I was like, oh, I don't know what that means, but maybe I should just do volunteerism in general and use what I'm doing with Queen for a Day as my example of it. And so I might that for one local, and then at that local, the judges were like, you're crazy not to be using your platforms. So, I think nowadays have number one recommendation is to partner up with an organization that already exists. There are so many nonprofits out there. There are so many causes. They can be very niche. They can be local. They can be regional, national, international. And to need to start your own nonprofit nowadays, unless you stumble upon some, underserved or unrepresented audience. Most likely, someone's already doing what you're thinking of, and you will be so much more productive and impactful if you partner with them. So I would first start a general audience that you want to serve, whether it be kids or animals or the elderly. And then what exactly do you want to do? Are you looking to raise money? Are you looking to generate more exposure or awareness? Do you want to do more hands-on things? And then do a Google search. Get really good with Google. Get really good at websites and stuff out, and choose from there. And then also decide exactly what you want to do with your title. When you partner with a cause, you have to decide, is this something that you're going to do just while you have a title, which is fine, or is this something that you want to make a long commitment and start to build a long-term relationship with that organization?
That's great. I mean, and honestly, do me a favor. Tell us a little bit about For a Day, what was previously Queen for a Day, and what actually made it go beyond being just your platform and going national. I mean, at one point we were international. So tell us about what that springboard was, and then I do believe you were nominated for the Quality of Life for Miss America that year, right?
Yeah, I won the Community Service Award before I won the state title. So from the Community Service Award from Miss America, and then when I was at Miss America, I was in the top 10 Quality of Life finalists. So. In my unique sense, I founded the organization and I was running it, and I'm managing these other volunteers who are out there doing it. That's one of the things that made my platform a little bit different. I wasn't saying, when I become Miss Whatever, here's what I have to do. I was saying, I'm already doing this, and having this title is going to open more doors for what I'm already doing. And that's a unique position to be in, and that's why I recommend partnering with an organization that already exists. You're not having to do all the administrative groundwork. You can jump right in and get started, and then you have someone else to vouch for what you're doing.
Doing Queen for a Day changed my pageant life, and I don't.
Really?
I mean that sincerely. It changed the relationships that I have. It changed how I was able to communicate my platform. It changed how I was able to touch people on a bigger scale. It was something that drew people into why I was doing this, and immediately I was able to jump in and go into, okay, we're going to do this, and it made it so much easier. And I know people now that are trying to start new charities. And I always tell them, I said, from being at the beginning of a charity that just started, that now is so huge, and seeing where you've gone with it, just to be aware, there are stepping stones that you're going to have to deal with, and there are going to be a lot of hurdles that you're so not going to expect. And I was so grateful that you had done all of that. I mean, you and your mom really went out of your way to make this very, very simple for someone to step in and be a director and be able to go, okay, we're going to go do this. And, you know, and you give a lot of leverage to everybody to come up with their best ways to be able to host a party. And for those of you that are not familiar, the 4-Day Foundation is about hosting parties for children that are undergoing cancer treatments. When it originally started, well, why am I saying it? You tell them.
Right.
You're the grown-up. I just happen to be part of it.
Yeah, I enjoy hearing how other people describe it. So we provide quality of life services for mainly hospitalized kids, but it's anyone going through treatment, whether they're inpatient or outpatient, meaning they're either staying overnight in the hospital or they get to go home in between treatments. So we do this mainly through Queen for a Day parties and Hero for a Day parties now. So these are just themed events, usually in the hospital playroom. So with Queen for a Day, you can only imagine it's makeup and nail polish and tiaras and feather beds. And Hero for a Day is two-pronged. We do firefighters and police officers. And then we have a comic superhero branch as well. So there's a little bit of flexibility in what a chapter can do with that, depending on what their community really goes for and where their resources are. So, face level, it's simply play, but play is what kids do. And what we're learning is that kids receive their treatments better when they're not stressed. And play is what kids do. It stress levels down. So we are what they consider a complementary to their traditional treatments.
And it is probably the most heartwarming and I don't know if I ever shared this with you, Jenna. One of the girls that we did a party for in Dallas, we did an in-room party for her, and the doctor came in and said, she's been here for 3 months. She's never gotten out of bed. I've never seen her smile. And the doctor was just thrilled with the fact that all of a sudden she had come out of her shell and she was just so excited about doing this and being part of being a princess just for a moment. And she looked at her mom and she's like, Mommy, I don't ever want to take this crown off. I want to wear this crown forever until I die. Yeah. And I think it was like 4 days later that she passed away. And I know that I had a small part in making her smile and have a magical moment. And her mom called me and she said, I don't know if you want to come to the services, but I just want you to know we're going to bury her in the tiara. And that, that moment made such a difference to me that I just want to know how much you changed my life. And every time I ever think, okay, this is too much for me to handle, I can't handle what I'm going through personally, I think of that moment and I go, you know what? If she could go through it, I can go through it and I can be a better person. So, I mean, those stories are gold. They really are, exactly what I need to hear to keep, moving forward in this. Because I certainly have my days where I'm like, there's no point. But it's heart wrenching to know that that's not the first time I've heard that. And I have a similar story. After my first Queen for a Day party, I was really questioning. This was in the era when pageant message boards and the internet was still pretty young. So I had gone on pageant message boards because I started with my tiaras, the ones that I won for the side awards in the pageant circuit system. So they were sitting in a shoebox, and I knew that there were dozens of girls like me who would go on the summer circuit and collect dozens of these tiaras. I went on the message boards and I was like, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. If you're looking for something to do with your crown, gladly take them. And we had people being like, I want to do this in my area. How do I do it? And my mother has worked in law offices all her life, so she was like structured to this, and we consulted with attorneys from the beginning and everything. So that's how we came up with this chapter structure and everything. But I was wondering, so I have these people doing this in other areas now, but
really what's this doing? And I happened to speak with the volunteer coordinator at the hospital just a few months after our first visit. And she was like, I just want you to know, Lisa, who was one of the girls at the party, you know, she passed away. But she was very particular about things she hung on her wall. And she had that Polaroid picture she took with her at her Queen for a Day moment still on her wall. And that was my moment where I was like, holy cow, what if Ash, you know, I don't know what it's like to pass away from cancer if you were lying quietly in your bed and you drift off to sleep, but let's just say that what if she's lying there and her eyes are scanning the walls as her eyelids are shutting, and her eyes follow that picture and a smile crosses her face, and if that's the last memory that she has of her life, you know, I gave that to her. And that's when all of a sudden, like, wow, this is huge. This is so much more than just playing in the makeup and giving away tiaras.
Right. So. And I gotta say that every single one of my crowns, I only own, I mean, of all the titles that I've won over the last 13 years doing this, which seems crazy because you know, at 30 something, I decided, oh, let's just go back and do a pageant. Why not? And I think at some point too, you kind of were like, really, you're doing pageants at your age? And I was like, yeah, I think so. But every single crown I've given back, I've given away. Everything, I mean, except for 3 crowns, everything else has been given out to somebody else because, you know, somebody touched me, or it was some child that at that moment I just went, she needs this at this particular minute. And so, yeah, very, very grateful, very grateful. Brooke is asking, and Brooke, I can tell you right now that one of the qualifications is that you have to be over 18 or 21. 21
to lead a chapter, 18 to volunteer.
Okay. So you would not be able to start one unless your mom starts it for you, right?
Right. But, you know, I've been working years on how to utilize volunteers that, you know, aren't yet at that age to lead a chapter or even to volunteer. So I have some, what I'm calling an ambassador program. So there is the opportunity for you to speak about mission in your community, just community groups, to help us do supply drives, to help us with fundraising. We'll have a lot more structure around those. So you're not, you know, on your own with that. There's a lot more structure around. So we're calling that an ambassador program.
She just said, yeah, you can see the chat. Okay. So it's like, and Brooke has been involved in junior high school America, and then also in National American Miss. And so she's the most articulate 14-year-old that I've ever met in my life. I kind of think of you when I speak with her, because I imagine that that's what you were like when you were a teenager. I mean, I've only known you as a grown up, so.
Yeah, well, it's like, you know, I started Queen for a Day when I was, you know, right on the cusp of 18. So, you know, I might have been 17, and then, you know, 2 months later turned 18. So I know what it's like, you know, to have a certain mindset at a young age. You know, we have these ages, and the volunteer ages, because hospitals have volunteer requirements, a contract involved with a directorship. So that's why we have those in place. So I don't diminish what young teens can do. You know, we just have certain structures to adhere to.
So tell us a little bit about when you first were discovered and when For a Day became big news, and the experience that you had in Chicago.
Oh, that was so cool. So my mother nominated me for an award through Ford Motor, and so I ended up being a top 5 finalist. And this would have been it was right before September 11th, because we're all supposed to be flown to New York for this award ceremony, and then they changed the plan, and they ended up doing award ceremonies in each person's area. So my award ceremony was at Miami Children's Hospital in the form of a Queen for a Day party. And so they had like a professional PR firm running everything. And that was, the woman in charge of my event was like, this could be something. Like, I want to do this in LA. This could really be something. And that was the first told me that I was on to something. And then they hired a photographer to take pictures. So, of course, all the photos go out on the AP line, which means that any Associated Press media can pick up the story associated with those photos. So a newspaper in Orlando ran one of the pictures. A freelance writer for People magazine saw it and did some digging around and found us and said, I'd like to pitch the story to People. So that would have been in like December, and within weeks in January, we were doing the photo shoots in the hospitals and doing the interviews and everything. The article printed in March. A couple of weeks after the article printed, I got a call from a producer from the Oprah show. And she's explaining they're doing this show on medical miracles and humor, the immune system. And I remember her asking me, so do you think your program would fit this episode? And I was like, I'll do whatever it takes to fit this episode. Yeah. So they were like, hey, we're going to have a series of interviews. We're going to send a crew down to Miami to do some filming. And, we really don't know if any of this will make the show. We're just going to gather, video and stuff. So long story short, they're like, okay, on Saturday after we filmed, you're going to Chicago on Monday. So, and in the meantime, I was competing in an MAO local on Sunday. And I remember standing in my interview, and I was just so sure of myself. I was like propped up on the podium, and I was like, so I'm flying to Chicago on the Oprah show. And I didn't win. Nonetheless, I go to Chicago, and my producer is like, Oprah may or may not ask you questions. If she does, it will be one of these three. What are you going to say? And I mentioned something about People magazine, and she's like, no, you can't say that. And then I really started freaking out. Like, what if I say the wrong thing and I can't edit it out? And my whole segment is deleted. And anyhow, they sit me on the front row, and I thought I was going to be on this panel, but the stage is completely empty. So I was a bit confused, but Oprah walks out, and she immediately starts and says, we have a show full of surprises today. Where's Jenna Edwards? And so she's like, come up here. So I'm standing on stage with Oprah. She says, you're someone's angel, and launches into what Queen for a Day does and how the very first girl that I had crowned had written them saying that I was her angel. And so at the end of the segment, she ended up giving us a $10,000 grant. And I was in college at the time, like living dorm in college. And there's something called the Oprah effect, where a person or a small business will just get an overwhelming response of people who watch the show. And that happened to me, like hundreds of emails of some people just saying, you're an inspiration, you show big or elaborate to make an impact, and I'm wanting to take my guitar to the hospital and just sing to patients, and now I see that I can do that. And then other people, wanting to start a church. So yeah, it was huge. It was absolutely huge.
Was it absolutely terrifying? I mean, to go from, okay, this is an idea that I have for a platform, and then developing the idea of a platform, to all of a sudden getting a call from Oprah. I mean, I got a call from Ellen a couple of months ago, and I about peed my pants. So I can't imagine. Yeah, nothing happened from it yet.
Well, it's a new Oprah.
It can still happen. It can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was like, I have a delayed reaction to things. So I remember going through the show and kind of an out-of-body experience, just feeling like, okay, this is happening. Okay, you're giving me the money, I have to work. What? And then 3 days later, I was falling asleep, and in the middle of the night, I sat up, and I was like, holy, I was on Oprah. Like, that's when I got excited. So, and everyone's like, you're so poised. And I was like, no, it's just surreal. I wasn't there. But anyhow, I remember telling my dad before all of this started that I felt my calling was to help girls with self-esteem issues, and that I had no idea how it would happen, but I felt like it would be in some form of a nonprofit. And he was like, baby, you're too high maintenance for the salary of a nonprofit. And I was like, Dad, I'm going to marry rich. I've got this figured out. But it was with Oprah having to get the grant, they gave us options. And so you can either submit receipts and reimburse you, or if you have a 501c3, we can write you a check. So we went through the whole 501c3 process, which is a certain designation from the IRS to an organization that allows donors to deduct their donations from their income tax. So it just piled on a whole bunch of other admin and paperwork stuff, but it is a pretty prestigious, file number to have. So we got that, and we got the check, and then I was like, by God, we're a legit nonprofit now. And I immediately called my parents and I said, do you remember when I said I was going to have a nonprofit that helped girls with self-esteem? And we all laughed, and yet here we are.
Here you are.
And in the meantime, I'm in college, still trying to figure out what to do with my life.
Well, and you had a really phenomenal experience. You moved from Mississippi to here to go to college at the University of Miami, and won Miss Florida America, and then 3 years later you won Miss Florida USA. And I think one of the highlights for me as a local director, but also just in knowing the organization, was seeing what happened at Miss USA. So can you tell us a little bit about the experience at Miss USA with Queen for a Day, which is now 4-Day? So.
Yeah, that was really cool too. I had told Mary Lou, my state director, that I wanted to fly out to LA, which is where the pageant was being hosted, a couple of days early. While I was there, I wanted to do a Queen for a Day party. And I said, if other girls are getting out there early, I would love for them to come too. So do you think you should out to their state directors and let them know? She said, I'll do you one better. I'm going to call this organization and let them know. And I was like, I don't know, but okay.
Okay.
And they were down. They were like, yeah, let's talk about making this an official event. So with the pageant. So instead of doing it a couple of days early, I coordinated with the hospital and with Miss Universe for about 7 contestants to go during pageant week with Miss USA, Tara Connor at the time. And we did a Queen for a Day visit in LA. So I have, these wonderful pictures and memories of those girls doing that with us.
And I think it was so remarkable. It was one of those years when I watched Miss USA where I'm crying hysterically because I'm thinking, I'm crying, and I was so torn for that year because, I knew the girls from Texas. I was rooting for you. I'm like, please let somebody win that I know. That would be great. But then seeing your experience and seeing, that kind of exposure, again, it just seems to keep revitalizing itself. All of a sudden something hits and some type of national media picks it up, and then again it's like, hello, welcome to the 4-Day Foundation, and what can we do to be able to help this grow? So how do you think that social media has affected the growth and any growing pains that you've had with having the nonprofit and being able to make it grow or change, and what do you see in the future for the 4-Day Foundation?
Yeah, so social media is an interesting point for us. We all want to promote what we're doing, and especially when you're doing something like this, you want to share, like you're having these amazing experiences and you want to show people. That's what social media is for. At the same time, hospitals have really locked down on patient privacy. So we're extremely limited now on how we can take photos of the experiences. So, on one hand, I 1,000% respect that. On the other hand, I would really love to have things to show other facilities, and sponsors and volunteers, like, look at the impact that we're making. It is smile in the face, sparkle in the eye that will convert someone. So, So social media I would say it's a little bit of sweet for us because we are a visually strong organization. Our programs are. And I want it all over the place. We are dealing with, and that child's right to privacy. And some parents go so far as to have policies to not have their child's face on any, do I like frogs?
It's a male question. Okay, first of all, Jenna, let me introduce you to my producer, Jenna.
Hey, Mo.
He's not officially my producer, but he is a producer for movies. And so he asked, we were live streaming at Miss USA, and so he says to me, ask Miss USA, does she like frogs? And I'm like, I am not going to ask Miss USA, does she like frogs? Ironically, I asked Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, and Miss Universe, so I have Olivia and Catherine and Pia. Oh no, she read it? Mo, did you think she wasn't? So, Jenna, do you like frogs?
I don't mind frogs, but I will say that I have a little secret that I would love a pet chameleon.
Oh, really?
I'd say that's close enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Close enough. Okay, cool. There you go. Okay. So, what I know you're doing a lot of things right now with social media. Congratulations on getting married, by the way. Pictures look amazing from what you put on Facebook, but congratulations. I think that's so awesome. He looks like such a cutie.
Dude, thank you.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I wanted.
I can't wait to get to New York to be able to see you guys, so that would be cool. So, where do you see 4-Day going, and where do you see your career changing? Because I know you hate frogs. Mo, are you serious? This whole time you're asking girls if they like frogs and you don't like them? Awesome. Divergent.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the question is, where do I see this going? And the
what do you see the future of 4-Day?
So, interesting that in different local areas we see different things happening. So, in some areas the activity is going strong, like there's lots of demand. We're the only ones doing what we're doing, and we're able to really create a community amongst all the patients and their families. So in that sense, the organization is getting stronger, and we're also finding all these other within and for us. So I'm looking, what else can we do to serve this community? I want to stay within quality of life. So, if the hospitals have their own things going on and we're not able to bring our programs to the hospitals, can we do bigger one-off events? Like, can we partner with that area's fashion week to do a fashion show for the patients? And while designers and photographers are there, can we do photo shoots with patients? Can we create these bigger, more grand experiences if we're not being able to go into the hospital on these smaller scale events? So,
Mo wants to know, do you want to get bigger and reach further places? So do you want to go outside of the United States? Are you looking to grow internationally?
I would be open to international. Kind of have a loose relationship with Station in South Africa. So they are a wish granting foundation called Reach for a Dream, and they still do Queen for a Day programs in their provinces. So I do feel like playing dress up and makeup and all this stuff, the intrigue with royalty is everywhere. So in that sense, we translate internationally. And so there is that opportunity. We're of course really strong in the US, and I know more of what I can do with that. So we have about a dozen chapters right now, and there is absolutely the opportunity to grow to more chapters. We have this whole application process because I'm looking for a very particular person to lead chapters. You have to be an enterprising person and be able to take the lead in your area while also being done by me, and certain things can and should be done. That structure, you have the ability to be super creative and resourceful. So that application process is going to be closing down for the rest of the year, starting in October. I'm planning a fundraiser here in New York, and I need that. But when things open back up in January, we're going to have a whole new process, and hopefully it'll be a lot more clearer for people who want to get involved.
Awesome. So still, I mean, it's funny because it's kind of ebbed and grown and changed, and I know at one point there were like 36 chapters at one point. And well, part of it was because they just quit recruiting people for you.
You know, what happened is that people well-intended and they get involved and, you know, they go through the paperwork. And of course, this was different. I used to be like, okay, here's your contract. Here's 36 pages of a Word document of everything you need to know. Let me know if you need help. And it was like out of sight, out of mind. And, you know, life happens and people would get busy and they would never get around to do it. And, you know, and so then, you know, chapter would never get started, you know, and a couple of years would pass and I would be like, hey, I heard from that person in wherever, let me check on them. So now I know how to keep up with people and, you know, and make sure that, that things are happening. What's it like to compete in an MAO prelim? Well, it's been about 12 years for me. But, you know, it's a pageant, you know, it's a competition. I really enjoyed the interview process of Miss America. You know, it's really dynamic. It's very dynamic. And I really appreciate that. I don't know what it's like for NAM, if it's one-on-one or trial. Yeah, I like being in MAO prelims. I liked competing in general.
You like competing, and you're great at competing. So,
thanks.
Any Mrs. competitions coming up? Are you going to do a Mrs., do you think? Or have you gotten that?
No, I don't want to do that. I don't have a desire for it, and Francois isn't. My husband isn't really into the idea. If I did it, you know, he would 100% support it. My closest friends, actually, I know from pageants, and we play with the idea of all competing, you know, and we could represent different states. So I don't know really how it would work out. But in theory, we all in our states, and then we can all go to some national pageant together and have a blast. So that would be the only way that I might consider it.
Cool. I find that it comes and it goes. Like, you know, because I competed, I think everybody knows I competed in USA. Mary Lou is my director too. I don't tell people that very often. So when I think I mean now, and Grant's only 2 years older than me. So when I was a teen competing, you know, Grant was just the kid hanging around with us. So.
Oh my gosh.
Is Jenna 20? Yes, she's 20, Mo.
No.
She's 20. Trust me. They tell me I'm 26. I'm like, okay, great. I'm 26. So, but I didn't do MAO, and as an adult, I've directed MAO, and I've directed USA as well. And I find that they're both so different dynamically as far as the competitions and the preparation and what you're looking for, and even the personalities are a little bit different with the title holders. I mean, although one of the things I loved about 4-Day is that it never made a difference what title someone had. Some of my parties were overwhelming in Dallas because we would have, you know, 15 queens from all over the state of Texas going, I want to do this, and showing up from sisters everywhere. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter what title you had. It didn't matter what crown you were wearing. The most important thing was that you were making a difference. So, and I think that that's the thing that we try to let everybody know, is that a title is so strong in being able to open up opportunities for you that you don't even recognize.
I loved that. You know, I had a unique position to hold 2 state titles, you know, and as a teen to have a national title, and then, you know, in between that, I won Miss Oktoberfest, which is a cultural heritage pageant in Canada. So Oktoberfest is a big, like, German thing that. So Canada is the largest Oktoberfest in this hemisphere. It's number 2 in the world, second to the original one in Munich. It was a 10-day festival. It was the only televised in Canada. It was a wonderful experience, you know, if you're like just into pageants. It was done. I am a Francophile. The pageant was done very, very well. So they would bring in 8 contestants from Canada, 8 from the US, and we would be brought in a week before the pageant, and as contestants we were making appearances around the community because we were gearing up for the festival. So the pageant always happened the night before the festival was opened. So Miss Oktoberfest, when you won, like, you then stayed for the 10-day festival. I forget where I was going with that. Oh, I got to see all the different ways that a title holder is used in the community. So in those 10 days, I made 90 appearances as Miss Oktoberfest. So I had a little guy in Lederhosen. He looked super German, and he drove me around from appearance to appearance. And it was everything from, breakfast meetings with, local dignitaries to then we would go into school tours, and I would just pop into different schools. Like, they had it down to a science. I would literally come in for my part, and then I would leave for my part, and I would get a break, and everything would move to school. We did the chicken dance, and that was a literacy.
Oh my gosh.
And then, there was maybe something in the afternoon, but then at night we would go around to the Festhallen, which were the different community halls that, had their own little German names. And I was encouraged. I would have to go in and address the crowd. Like, people would be there to drink beer, and I would get up there and be like, hey, take advantage of Molson Canada's, ride home program. Don't drink and drive. All right, everybody, have a good night. And then I would go to the next hall and, and make the same announcement. So I see, like, what are the possibilities? And actually, how do people like to see a beauty queen in the community? So then when I was Miss Florida America and USA, I knew what to do with the title. Like, I knew what would be available to me. So I also figured out that it was pretty easy to call up a place and say, hi, I'm Jenna Edwards. I'm Miss Florida. I'd really like to be involved with the event. I can sing the anthem. I can give a speech. I can sell tickets. If it's a charity event, they have full, I can sell you raffle tickets or whatever. Or if you just want me to be there, like something unique to be there. And most people were like, oh my God, this is Miss Florida. This is so cool. I've talked to a Miss Anything before. They thought it was so cool. And they would say yes. And so it just took asking and making a specific ask. I learned that you have to tell people how to use you because they're not going to think of it themselves.
Yeah.
I also wanted for like the magazines, like local and regional magazines in Florida. Miss Florida should be in the magazines. So, just put her on the cover. She is the best of that state, theoretically. So, and I learned from Lisette Gonzalez. She was like, if you want the editor of a magazine to think of you for the cover of the best of edition, you have to tell them, I want to be on the cover of your best of edition. Because otherwise, they're not going to think of that themselves. So that was a really valuable lesson. And I've used that in everything.
I love Lisette. Lisette's amazing. Oh my gosh. And I was just thinking about one of the weirdest times. I think it was the Zest commercial. I'm watching TV, primetime TV, and all of a sudden I go,
I knew her.
That's Jenna. And I rewound it and I went, oh my gosh, that's Jenna. And then you did a Colgate too, didn't you? I mean, you've done a couple of commercials. Like you've been doing.
I did Crest. Yeah, I did whitening. I did outdoorism. That's another interesting thing. Like, there's really not much crossover between pageants and commercials or and acting, and so I didn't publicize that to my agents in the beginning, and especially not when I moved to New York. But I did book a commercial a couple of years ago, and the clients were trying to figure out my age to figure out what guy to pair me with. So they Googled me, and then all this stuff comes up. And the casting agent, when I came in for the casting the next day or so, he was like, Jenna, you didn't tell me you were Miss Florida. And I was like, yeah, because most people in New York, like, would you ever call me for anything if you knew? Like, why would I tell you that? And he's like, I love pageants. Do you know Candace Pelletier? I know Miss Arkansas from 1967. She's in here all the time. And so then he starts scheduling my castings when other pageant girls are going to be in there because he wanted to introduce us. So, and now every time I'm in there, it's like, everyone, Miss Florida is here. So
you're always going to be Miss Florida. Always, always, always. Never going to go away.
Miss Florida. Yeah.
Forever. So, what's going on now? I know that you're working on your own YouTube cooking channel, so tell us a little bit about that. And where did that come from? I know that you were doing commercials and you were doing print work, but then all of a sudden it started to cook, and I went, what happened?
Yeah, so I still do commercials. Like I go on castings for things, but all the software, videoing and video editing software is so user friendly nowadays. There's no reason why I can't put myself on camera. I don't need to wait for someone to book me for something. So I have a health coach training background, and one of the things that I noticed when I had clients was that everyone knows that cooking home is the healthiest for you, but a lot of people, we're not taught to cook anymore. Like, that's just not part of growing up, and so it's overwhelming. The idea of trying to figure out how to cook something is overwhelming. So I started trying to teach clients, like let's just start with boiling some rice. Is these little baby half steps. And also, you don't have to do something fancy in order for it to be good. So I decided that since I want to be on camera and I love food so much, that I should start doing these cooking demonstrations. So I demonstrate recipes that already exist, so that people feel more confident to go make that recipe because they see how it's supposed to turn out. And so they're more comfortable in the process.
It's crazy how YouTube has changed the world. I mean, I think
it has.
I always laugh because everyone always asks me to do makeup tutorials. I'm like, I learned how to do my makeup from a book. You can go on and watch, 3,000 different people doing makeup tutorials now. And I'm like, why do you even care what my opinion is?
Yeah. Yeah, it is so interesting. There's so many cooking channels out there, beauty and food. It's all over YouTube, and yet we can't get enough of it.
Yeah, no, and everybody's into it, so it's fantastic. So, does anybody have other questions for Jenna? We'll kind of open it up a little bit. Mo, do you want to cast her for anything? She's available, I'm sure.
I will tell the people that are watching, I put together some worksheets, like some checklists and tips for making appearances, getting yourself out there, and how to have the best year ever. And so it's on my cooking website, but it's jennaedwards.com/pageant. And you'll find... do
you want to type it in the chat so everyone can find it?
Oh,
you're on your iPad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it, Jenna?
Jenna G. Edwards.
G. Edwards?
.com. Yeah.
Okay.
/pageant.
Did I do it right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, there you go. Fantastic.
So
I know that
yeah.
I know that Brookie was really, really looking forward to seeing you. I know that a couple of the girls that I've been coaching have been able to pop in, and I've seen them pop out. So they've been coming in, so I don't know if they've been able to stay or if it was a lag issue. What will you follow me back on Instagram if I follow you? Oh, Brookie's got a queen crush.
Okay.
Is it Queen Brookie on your Instagram, Brooke? Okay, type it so she knows what it is so she can look for you. Oh, Brooke Nadeau.
Well, if you follow me, I'll get the notification.
Okay.
Brooke Nadeau. Okay.
So what can we do to be able to help 4 Day Foundation, aside from getting involved as a director? What can we do to be able to help you grow for a day and to be able to, help you out? What can we do?
So I call it a salon cane. It's a campaign that can be posted up in hair salons. So it utilizes decals. Jenna. I had these tiara decals made up that can stick on the walls. So you can take a selfie with the decal. Whatever. So I have a whole thing, like, if you have a relationship with a hair salon, we call it the Treat It Forward campaign. It asks folks while they're sitting there getting their hair done, reminding them, like, hey, you feel pretty good right now. Like, doing this for yourself and getting fixed up is therapeutic for you. Imagine what it's like working with cancer, and treat it forward. Like, while you're getting this nice thing done for yourself, do something nice for someone else. So it allows them information on their mobile device right there in the chair. And then once their hair, is all done and it's looking all great, they can go take a selfie under the tiara, and then, hashtag Queen for Day, hashtag Treat It Forward and whatnot, and turn it into somewhat of a social media thing. So we want to get into hair salons for that, and that does help us reach more people and get the word out about our programs and what we do. And then as an ambassador, if you're interested in trying to talk to community groups about what we do, that can sometimes get us donations or just get someone to start a chapter in the area. I can work with you on how to talk about the organization, and then you can be your enterprising little self and go book some appearances, making some speeches.
Awesome.
And then one more thing, the fundraiser that I'm planning, it is going to be in New York in mid-November. Getting some really good silent auction items. So I'm looking at making the auction online so that anyone, anywhere can bid. So one of the things that I think is really cool is I got a mattress donated from Casper Mattress. It's a foam mattress company, but they'll ship it anywhere. So you can get a great foam mattress with sheets and pillows, but all the proceeds go to charity.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So,
oh, what a great idea.
Yeah, so it'll be
online. That is awesome.
Yeah, and it'll be I'm trying to get things that people would want to buy for, Christmas anyway. So yeah, hopefully you can get some holiday shopping done early and benefit charity.
No, she didn't compete with Olivia. She competed. Lynette Cole from Tennessee won the year she won. Okay, it's really sad that I know that. Okay, is that really?
No, the other Tennessee girl won. Rachel won my year.
Did Rachel win? I thought it was
Rachel
Lynette.
Smith.
Oh, it was the year that it was back to back,
that would have been. I was a teen when that won.
Oh my gosh. So.
No, in Miss America, no, that wasn't it. I don't know. Rachel Smith won my year at Miss USA. And Deidre Downs won my year at Miss America, Alabama.
I'm trying to think. I think Crystal won the year after Texas. I'm trying to think. Gosh, okay, my brain starts to fry after a while. I'm not a stalker. Oh my gosh. I've known her for, 11 years now? 12 years?
11 years, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's just crazy. Okay, so what is your suggestion to everybody just about getting involved in their community service, whether their charity is the 4-Day Foundation, or if it's, just volunteering at the local YMCA? What kinds of information can you tell us about getting involved with a charity? And how do we know they're legit?
Yeah, so I think you can look at someone's activity level on media, and if their website is updated frequently. Most are posting things on Facebook. So if it hasn't been updated in a while, it may be that they're not doing that much. Maybe they're just not great at Facebook. But somewhere they should be, they calendar that show that things are coming up. But most of us like to promote that we're active. And so you can't find much activity, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, wherever they are nowadays, then it's questionable. But when you're looking for someone to approach, do some research, look at the programs that programs are helpful in their community. And look and see if there's guidelines, if there's any structure, like get to know what they offer. They'll put a lot of information on the website. So read it and believe it. What they put on the website is really what they go by. So when you do approach them, be specific in how you can help. A lot of people are well-intended to reach out to me and say, hey, I want to get involved. Let me know how I can help. And I don't know what to do with that because I don't know your time commitment, what you're good at. Like, what do you mean help? Are you willing to go into an organization's office and stuff envelopes for a couple of hours a week? That could be very helpful for someone, but they don't know to ask you that, but you know that. So be really specific when you reach out to an organization and say, especially if you're coming as title holder and saying, I'm getting rid of this competition. I want to use this title that I have. And I'd be willing to talk. I'd be willing to show up at a fundraiser and or help you plan it and execute it, something like that. Give them some specifics. They can guide you better. And then, they're more likely to respond to you when they know how to respond to you.
Good. Favorite thing of this entire experience? What is the thing that stands out in your mind after, from either 4-day or from pageants?
Oh, gosh. Man, I just, from both of them, I really love how much people love to connect with another person. I don't think I gave that enough credit when I was a title holder. And just the impact you can have when you're at an appearance, and just standing there. I took the attitude a lot of like, it's just me. Why is this a big deal? Like, it's just me. Why is this a big deal? But I was totally looking that this is a big deal for people to meet. And, and it's tenfold when you go in a really vulnerable situation like a hospital when you're dealing with kids. So, I just took away from all of those moments, the power of connection with someone else and opening yourself up to just being available to this other person. We don't get enough of that as humans. We didn't 10, 12 years ago, and we certainly don't now. And that's the thing that I take away every day. And I still remember that when I'm interacting with people, in New York, just the power of looking someone in the eye and being present.
Yeah, I gotta say that's probably been the best experience for me as well, is that my director is always telling me, you change people's lives, and I'm like, I'm just Stacy. I'm not trying to change anybody's life. I'm just being me. And then I'll get a message from Miss USA, or I'll get an email from Catherine, and I'm like, wait, why are they contacting me again? What? And
yeah.
And we forget that at the end of the day, we're just ordinary people with extraordinary opportunities. And I think that was one of the best things I took away from Miss Universe this year. When I met with Steve Harvey, Emmett Smith was another one where I was just like, you're just amazing. Like, I love you, and we forget that at the end of the day, these people just are normal people that are just, doing their thing. And we have that same connection with people, but we don't see it the same way. So, so I'm very, very blessed to have had these opportunities, and I'm very grateful again to you for allowing me to be part of your organization and being able to see, it all grow and change. And I know that our relationship has kind of ebbed and flowed as well, just depending on my situation with my health and stuff. So I appreciate the fact that you continue to let me still be involved and let me still do things, because
I love that you're still open. That's half of it.
I love
you're not
it.
like, sorry, but we love having you around.
It is really, 4-day Queen for a Day has been the most magical part of pageants for me. Wow. And I mean that very sincerely. So thank you for letting me be part of it.
That's beautiful, Stacy. Thank you.
Thanks. So, anything you want to say? How do you want to finish up, or what do you want to say to everybody?
Pageants, we've talked about them this whole hour, how wonderful they are, everything that they can do for you. But the title, literally, the banner and the crown are not going to walk out and make your life for you. It is up to you to go out and make this life for yourself. And I loved what I did with my year. For me to look back at my years and be like, gosh, I could have done so much more had I known then what I know now. So, go to the website and go to my website and get those checklists. It's a very, very simple starting point, but you really can make an incredible foundation for yourself with this title, whatever title that you have. And then later on your resume, you can list all the cool things that you did. And when someone's like, oh, wow, that's you saying the national anthem at a NASCAR race, how did that happen? Then I get to be like, well, actually, I was Miss Florida, and I got myself there. So that's what I love the most about this. You can create some one-of-a-kind life experiences if you just get clear about what it is you want to do and have the guts to go ask.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too, is that if you don't ask, you just never know. The worst that can happen is that they can say no. But
yeah.
I am so grateful that I've come out of my shell and I'm not afraid to ask anymore. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
kind of the worst thing is like, what if they say yes? Then what?
Yeah, well, that's the thing that scares me sometimes is when people do say yes, and then I go, okay, now what do I do?
Yes. It happens all the time.
But that's great. I mean, that's the magical experience. I mean, I keep saying it's my bucket list, and I just keep adding to the bucket list. So the bucket list keeps changing, and I'm really proud of that. So we're good. So thanks so much for being here, and I appreciate it. And again, I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
For you, organization, and everything that you do, and know that you are shining light amongst many stars in the sky, and we do appreciate it. So
bye. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this.
Thanks.
Bye.
I had a great time.
Me too.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Jenna, thank you so much for being a guest. It has been fantastic being able to hear your story and be able to... Don't go, Jenna! Jenna, you got to start your own You Now channel so everyone can find you. And again, you can find the 4-Day Foundation and hear more about Queen for a Day and Hero for a Day at 4dayfoundation.org. And then if you want more information, you can always find me on, I know she's gone, you can find me on any of my social media at Pageantry Now on Instagram, Facebook, or on Twitter. You can direct message me, and I will gladly give you more information about it. And if you guys have any more questions about just being a title holder or how you can, become a title holder, that's what our show is all about. You can see us most days. Thank you so much, Mo. Most days at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We have Makeup Mondays, and then we have Title Holder Tuesdays and Thursdays. This coming up Thursday, we will have a title holder interview. So look for us at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time this Thursday. Tomorrow we'll do Makeup Monday. Yes, Mo? Don't make me guess you. Yes, Mo. Do you know, Mo? Oh my goodness. We are live on YouTube. Thank you very much, Mo. Oh my goodness. And they can't see what you're saying. Of course. I'm not. No, I'm not. Thank you. So, all right, everybody, thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Pageantry Now. And again, you can find us on YouTube at Pageantry Now Media. You can go back and watch this episode. So if you missed some information or if you were unable to catch the whole show, you can see the interview with Jenna Edwards, the founder of the 4-Day Foundation. You can find them at foradayfoundation.org. And you can hear all about her story about starting Queen for a Day as a title holder, and about being on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and then growing the organization from just something that was an idea in her head of how she was going to be able to raise self-esteem in girls. So thanks so much, guys, for being here. Wait. Can you just message me on Facebook? When are we going to do Tiara? Oh, Tyra was on. She's probably going to come on later, not tonight, but she's it'll be probably Tuesday. I'll probably have her on. So Tuesday night and Thursday night. So just message me on Facebook, okay, Mo? All right, guys, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. And I will look forward to seeing you guys later in the week. We'll do Makeup Mondays tomorrow. So if you want to do some tips on makeup, or if you have something that you'd like me to be able to go over, just message me or post it on my board. And I will look for it tomorrow. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate it. Much love to all of you. Without my audience, I don't have any reason to be here, so I appreciate it. And that is a wrap. Good night.